So we're back one final time for the last game of the pool tournament. This time I'm playing the same Irish player, Graham, that I played in the very first game. About at the last game, I think a lot of players had similar points, and quite a few had to play players they'd already played just to make the difference. So the scenario we're playing is called the Village Pillage. This is a scenario devised by Joe, or Pepes as he is on the forum, and developed by Chris Churchill of Wyvern Wargamers. We're using this one. I think it's a fantastic scenario. I really enjoyed playing it. Basically, there's some terrain in the centre, and then there's two houses. The houses are treated as impassable terrain. If you can get within 2 inches of an enemy house, and you've done nothing but a movement action, so no melee, no shooting, you can gain a pillage token, and basically whoever has the most pillage tokens at the end of the game wins. So on the Scots side, defending his building, he has 4 warriors, a large unit of 12 warriors, and one of his Irish champions. In the centre he's got his dogs and another champion. And finally on his left hand side he's got 6 Hearthguard, his Warlord, and the 12 Levy. So once again for this tournament I managed to get first turn, and I learnt pretty quickly from the previous game with these guys: stay the hell away from the terrain. It shoots the hell out of you. So I kept 24 warriors on the far right hand side, and I pushed them straight up towards the opponent. Sorry, it's not 24, it's 23, because I only had an 11-man unit, one of them. While guarding my village is a unit of 12 warriors, no, 11 warriors, a unit of 12 levy, I've done a 6-man bodyguard unit. I felt I needed a few more warriors over here to protect my warlord and that, and just to keep the enemy at bay. And yeah, didn't do too much for them. My opponent on my right moved up his minor hero, his champion. He threw a couple of javelins at me but did no damage. While on the left hand side he moves up everything, his levy just spread out a bit just to make sure he's got cover for his Hearthguard and his warlord from my slings. His other champion moves up in the centre. And so we're looking up something like this. Yeah, as you can see he's basically just moved up, and that was it. So I go into his big unit of 12 with my unit of 12. I only take 2 casualties. As you can see, he's taken 7 casualties, so that was a good push for me. And I move up my other warrior unit just to protect the flank and get ready to be able to charge in next turn as well. On the left hand side I haven't done much. That's basically how it looks at the end of my turn. Over here my opponent throws a few more javelins and does nothing to me. I think I kept my defensive abilities against the shooting up. I remember these guys from the first game and I wasn't going to make that mistake twice. Over here he tries the same thing and fails to cause any casualties. He moves his Hearthguard up and throws a bunch of javelins at my warriors and manages only to kill 1. He then charged his hounds into the same warriors and used my fatigue. I think he had fatigue on me. I think he was hitting on 3s, whatever happened. And this was his roll to hit. Yeah, he wasn't having very much luck during this fight. So my outnumbered warriors pushed him back and took only 1 casualty. He also charged his Hearthguard into my levy to drive them off. Did a few casualties. I did a couple of casualties to him. I wasn't too worried about that. At the end of the day, it's only levy. So in my turn, I keep pushing forwards. There's only 2 remaining now of that unit, and they fall back beside the building there. That gives me at least 1 chance to get towards the building at the moment. And over on the left hand side I charged my other unit of 11 warriors into his remaining Hearthguard. As you can see there, the poor buggers took a fair few casualties from fighting my levy. And I managed to wipe him out with the loss of only 1 of my warriors. So that was all good there. And the table's looking something like this. So on the right hand side he charges in his champion. I managed to do 2 casualties to my nothing, and actually pushes back my warriors on the right hand side. He then charges his levy into my warriors. Again, I only take a couple of casualties and manage to push back the levy. In the centre here it becomes quite a mess, and I have a lot of fortune here. He comes in and does a combined charge with his warlord and dogs, and wipes out that small unit of warriors. And after that he then overran and charged into my warlord, that's the 2 fatigue markers there, and failed to kill him. And I was very lucky with that one, and managed to push back the warhounds himself. So now the left hand flank is looking something like this, while over on the right it's looking something like that. So on the right hand side I throw my large unit of warriors in against his champion and kill him off in quick succession. The left hand side got a bit messy as I was trying to get a dual charge, but it didn't matter what I did, everything was out of range for me to get a dual charge, and if I could get it I was going to get too much fatigue on my warriors and they'll be exhausted too easy. So I threw my warriors in against his warhounds, and then used my warlord to have a one-on-one against his warlord. His warhounds were wiped out, but unfortunately I failed to kill his warlord. But I'd saved enough action dice to get one more action, threw my warlord against him, and managed to defeat him. So with the battlefield looking relatively bare of Scots, I was pretty happy with the situation. The left hand side I was quite comfortable that I had, with that one champion there and just the levy. I should easily be able to drive either of those two off. But on the right hand side, again I outnumber my opponents so much, even though I've got the fatigue there, I should be able to defeat him there. So in my opponent's turn all he managed to do is use his champion to run up to the building and snatch a token. Unfortunately, you can only carry as many tokens in a unit as you have models, so the champion can only grab one, and he fled. And on the top hand side, I think the warriors moved about on the far side just to try and block me in, and threw a couple of javelins. In my turn, rested up my unit, charged it in, and wiped out the little 2-man unit. Then proceeded with my other unit to wipe out the 4-man unit that was there. I only took 1 casualty to that and wiped them out. So my opponent was down to, I think, 1 dice now. Maybe, yeah, I think it's 1 dice now. So got his champion up and threw a couple of javelins into my unit, managed to kill one of them off. In my turn, I just moved forwards and grabbed as many pillage tokens as I could with the 2 units. It gave me up to 4 pillage tokens. And with it, that was the final. There was nothing he could do in his last turn to stop me having those pillage tokens. And that was the end result for another win for the Anglo-Saxons finally. I learned a lot after his first game on what to expect from the Irish, because I hadn't played them before this weekend, and it was a good learning curve. And I tried to use it to the best of my ability, and it seemed to work out alright. Though to be honest, my opponent did have some appalling luck. That one round of combat where my 5 men beat off his 8, and my warlord managed to save, I think, 3 out of 4 wounds with 5 dice. So, bit of luck on my part there as well, I have to admit. Quite content me. So once again, thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to do one more video. It'll be kind of like a sum up of where I came in the actual event, and what I thought of the event and the scenarios, and what I think of the Anglo-Saxons in a tournament environment. Alright then, chaps, take care all. Awareness.